In this video, we're going to discuss vectors. And the definition of a vector is a directed line segment, very similar to what you might remember from geometry as being a ray. But it's a quantity that has both direction and magnitude. So there are a couple of pieces and parts of vectors that we're going to identify. First of all, the initial point is where the vector begins, and then it heads off in a particular direction indicated by an arrow to finish at a terminal point. We talk about the magnitude of the vector as simply being the length of the vector. How long is this vector? The direction of the vector is where the vector is pointing to, right? We have some notation that we can use to describe a vector. If we're given an initial point and given the terminal point, we use the notation that we start at P, end at Q, and we have this little arrow kind of a symbol over the top of P to Q. So that would represent the vector from P to Q. Now, an interesting feature about vectors is that they can start anywhere. They don't have to start at the origin, and we can actually move vectors around the Cartesian plane. So let's take a look at these vectors here that are graphed. We've got a vector P to Q, and PQ travels 1, 2, 3, 4 units horizontally, and then 1, 2, 3 units up. So we've got 4 units to the right and 3 units up. But notice for vector R, we also have 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right and 3 units up. But the vector T to U, 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right and 3 units up. And basically what we're saying here is that vector PQ is actually considered to be the same vector as vector RS, which is considered to be the same vector as vector TQ. And the reason for that is because they all travel 4 units right and 3 units up to get from the initial point to the terminal point. So let's notice up here it says that the vectors below are considered to be equal because they all have the same magnitude, which is the same length, and the same direction. So let's think about that idea that we can have the same vector located in several different places. So I'm going to just sketch in a vector here that has a random magnitude and direction, and I'm going to label it with W because I want this vector to represent the wind. Now, the wind would have a magnitude. Let's say if the wind was going 3 miles an hour, or let's say 5 miles an hour, we would draw this so that the vector has a magnitude or a length of 5, right? The magnitude of the vector is representing essentially the force of the wind. If the vector is long, I've got a greater force. If the vector is short, I've got a shorter force. So now, let's also consider that we could have the wind acting on several different objects. So I'm going to draw some fall leaves over here in different colors. So we've got several leaves kind of blowing in the air. And we could have the wind blow this leaf, and it would move it in the same direction and the same distance as it would if I were blowing this leaf, same direction, same distance. So even though I'm starting at different places, I'm using the same wind vector to act on these objects with different initial points. So no matter what initial point I have, the object that I'm acting on is moving with the same direction and the same amount of force. And that's why we can kind of think of this wind vector as being able to move around the Cartesian plane. So I can move a vector to wherever I would like it to initiate from, which is another way of saying that these 3 vectors are equal to each other because they have the same magnitude and same direction. It is as if we moved that one vector around the Cartesian plane. Now, another way that we could notate a vector, as you saw in what I wrote a minute ago, is that we can write the vector. I had a wind vector with the arrow on the top of it. A lot of times you'll just see V with an arrow on the top of it. A lowercase letter with an arrow pointing to the right above the letter is an indicator that we are symbolizing a vector. Now, in a lot of textbooks, getting this syntax, getting this arrow on the top of a letter is actually a little tricky to type, and so what a lot of textbooks will do instead is they'll just use bold letters, right? So a bold lowercase letter in a textbook will also represent a vector. But for our purposes, I'll be using vector with the arrow hat over the top of it. In some classes, you may also see a little hat like this over the top of a lowercase letter, and that would indicate vector as well. But again, for our purposes, I will usually be using this notation.